everybody, this is Paige Parisi, and today she is going to be answering a few questions on how she is being a leader here at Florida State University. Paige, in your experience throughout your life, what would you define to be a leader?
I would say that a leader is someone who inspires others and encourages them to reach their goals, and someone who takes initiative in situations, is kind of, takes the initiative to lead others in whatever they're trying to accomplish. So that person would be the one that everyone looks to as the person to give them inspiration or to help them to figure out what they need to be doing.
Okay, awesome. Good definition. And then, do you think someone is born a leader, or do they become a leader?
I think everyone is born with the potential to be a leader, and it's once you find something that motivates you towards what you want to be a leader in is when you would emerge as a leader. So once you find something that you're passionate about or something that you really want to work towards, then you would become a leader in that situation and have others follow you. But if there's things in your life that you're not necessarily passionate or motivated towards, you might let others lead in those situations. So it just is a matter of finding what you're going to lead others in.
Okay, so an emergent leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what is your experience as a leader on campus?
I am an RA in Landis Hall, so I lead the 34 girls on my floor in the hall, and I help them in their situations and if they have any problems or issues. So.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, those are some great answers, and this is your breaking news report with Paige Parisi. Thank you.
In breaking news, here's another student leader at Florida State, Ben Aqua. I'm going to ask Ben a couple questions regarding leadership. Ben, what is your definition of leadership?
I think leadership is having clear principles and sound judgment, and using that to be an example to people and using that to direct people.
Who do you believe is a good leader and why?
I think Sergeant York was a great leader. He was probably one of the best sharpshooters in World War I, but not only was he a great leader on the field, he's also a great leader off the field. And he used sound principles and a strong moral character to be an example to his fellow troops.
What is your experience as a leader?
My experience as a leader is mostly within the Service Scholar program here at FSU, and most of my leadership is service-oriented. I'm a leader for Second Harvest, and I take a group of FSU students out to Second Harvest every week. And that's taught me how to motivate people to enjoy the work that they are doing, even when it's monotonous work. And part of that is in being a good example to the people you're working with.
Thank you for your time, man.
Yes.
We are on the scene here looking for a leader. Look, there's one now. Hi, I hear you are a student leader at the Florida State University.
I am.
You are? What's your name?
My name is Katie Wolbrenner.
Awesome. What would you define as a leader? What is your definition of leadership?
When I think of a leader, I think of a role model. It's got to be somebody you can look up to and see a little bit of yourself in, otherwise you're not willing to follow. It's somebody that has exemplary standards and always sets goals.
Awesome. Cool. So if you are describing a leader, do you think they should be task-oriented, or should they be more interested in relationship-based?
I think it depends on what you're leading. For example, I'm a resident assistant, and so we focus more on relationships with our residents. And while, yes, we do have some task-oriented business that has to happen, it's more focused on if you don't have a good relationship, you're not even really going to be doing your job. So I think it really does depend on the task or what you're leading, essentially.
Awesome. Well, since you said you're an RA, what would be your experience then as a leader? What have you had to do as a leader on campus?
Well, as a resident assistant, I guess I'm responsible for 38 girls at the moment. I educate them about program opportunities. I keep them up to date with all the hall going-ons, the policies and procedures, and I try to build relationships with them so that they can have a community on our floor. And that's what I mainly do as a resident assistant, per se.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you do on campus that you think is worth mentioning as your experience in leadership?
Most of my previous experience would probably have to be from high school.
Okay.
If you would like me to talk about that.
That's great.
My passion was choir, so I was the alto section leader. I was responsible for about 50 girls in the section. I had to set the standard by getting things ready for class every day. If I was behind, obviously that's no motivation for anybody. I also was business manager of French club. I was vice president of drama club. I was junior class secretary. And I was school project chairperson for the Y Club, which is a service organization. So I organized all the school service projects throughout my 4 years of high school.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. This is Robert Hale reporting to you live on the scene at FSU. Good night.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Hale, and I'm here in the Kappa Kappa Gamma house with my friend Danielle Laskowitz. She is the recording secretary for Kappa Kappa Gamma, and she's in charge of special events for Relay for Life. Danielle, hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
What would you say is your definition of leadership?
My definition of leadership would be encompassing all aspects of what you're involved with, whether it's, leading a group or being a part of a group. You encompass that role and take on all aspects that are expected of you, and not just in a present circumstance, but in years coming, the things that you're involved with are successful, I think really defines a leader, because you know that you've done your job well by having successful things come after you've left.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
So, do you think that a leader can use the same style and approach on all settings, or do they have to change their specific leadership style depending on who the group is or who the follower is?
I think that a good leader should be able to be flexible in their leadership abilities.
Yeah.
There should always be, those strong aspects that a person has as a leader, that the leader has worked out within themselves, that they know has worked in different areas, but they should also be able to be flexible, because not everyone can understand where you're coming from in different aspects. So I think being able to mold to different people's styles and everything shows that you can be a strong leader as well.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And then, of course, since this is why you're here, what experience as a leader would you like to share, or would be good examples of what you think great leadership is?
Well, currently I'm the recording secretary for Kappa Kappa Gamma, and I just finished my term as special events chair for Relay for Life. And both of those roles have taught me a lot of different things about leadership in different ways. With recording secretary, it takes a lot of organization and a lot of answering questions and everything, and definitely patience working with almost 170 girls trying to figure out everyone's questions and everything. And with special events, having to work outside of campus with people around the Tallahassee community, trying to bring them into campus has really taught me, how to work with different types of people, and I think has enhanced my leadership skills with Kappa and with Relay. I think they both helped me with each other.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your leadership perspective with us, Danielle.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Bailey Schritzinger, and she is currently the Vice President of Academic Excellence for Kappa Kappa Gamma, and next year will be filling large shoes, taking on the role as the FSU Editor-in-Chief. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
So, what do you define a leader as?
I think a leader is this person who has the ability to inspire followers around them to achieve more than they possibly thought that they could, individually and also together as a team. I think that would definitely be would make a really good leader.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then, do you think a leader should be able to treat followers differently depending on how they want the desired result to come out?
I think it's really situational. I think that beginning any leadership project, coming in fresh, you should try and aim to treat everybody equally. However, as the project develops, it'll be very, very clear whose strengths come out, whose weaknesses come out, and when you get to that certain point, you're going to need to learn to tailor your leadership skills to their strengths and their weaknesses to get the best results, not only for the team, but from those individual people as well.
That's very interesting. And then, of course, you have a lot of experience as a leader, and you'll be using that experience next year. And So what would you say is one of your greatest experiences as a leader?
I think that, it's a really hard question. That's a really, I've had a lot of different experiences. I was an RA last year, so that was a really great total experience. This year I am my president of academic excellence for Kappa, and that has also been a different experience for me because I'm not really used to leading a group of all women, which is something that's very, very different for me, and I've really liked that a lot, and learning to get along with everybody and to kind of, again, see what the people's strengths and weaknesses are. But I think that the best experience for me is hopefully in the future, but is kind of currently going on right now, being editor-in-chief. I'm learning right now how to transition, which I think is really difficult to transition in a period when you go from being, currently I'm an assistant editor to going to be editor-in-chief. So right now, I guess I'm learning the ins and outs of all of that, and I guess learning how to lead people who are older than me, because I'll be in charge of graduate students as well. So I guess learning how to lead people who might be older than me, but at the same time, I will be, I guess, technically above them position-wise. So I think that that would be probably my greatest, hopefully, leadership experience that is good to come in the future.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.